Charlie Mansin.
Charlie Manson.
This is one of his tracks here. He's actually on the phone with us right now, and we're gonna get to him in just a moment. Let's see. What's going on, Charlie? How's it going, man? Oh, not much, man. We're hanging out, having a good time, talking about all kinds of different things that happened. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm doing good.
That's good, man. I'm glad to hear. So I know that let's see. I mean, we went to high school together for what, a couple, 4 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how time flies, right?
Yeah.
So basically,
Definitely.
I know it's been a while since we've actually seen each other and all that. So honestly, man, how's things been in the last 10 years?
Things have been good. It has ups and downs, but it's life,
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. I know that I know you probably were disappointed with Game of Thrones, right?
Oh, yeah, dude. Definitely.
Yeah, man. Game of Thrones definitely wasn't what we expected it to be. We kind of hoped it to be better than it was. And honestly, dude, I mean, it could have been better. But it's just one of those things, And it's just. It is what it is. I'm glad it's over now at this
Yeah,
point.
exactly.
But yeah, I know you're a big Game of Thrones fan. You're a big comic book fan, professional wrestling fan. What do you think of AEW tonight, man?
Oh, man, it was good. I've caught a couple of the matches. I missed some because I'm at work, but
Yeah,
I was able to catch the end of the card. It's been good, really good so far.
that's good, man. I'm glad to hear. So you're from Rochester. You're 27 years old. Your birth name is actually Angel.
Yes.
And so that's interesting, And I've always wondered, where'd you get the name Charlie Manson from? I know you go by Charlie,
Oh,
so.
yeah.
That's just something I gave myself while I was trying to find an identity. I just thought I needed something that would represent evil music and stuff, and
Right.
it was all the imagery and stuff, and I just went with Charlie Manson. I just decided to spell it differently.
Yeah, man. It's pretty unique. You don't see a lot of people, base their identity off of somebody who did some crazy things,
Yeah, I know, right?
So basically, I listened to a lot of your tracks. I went through your SoundCloud. One that stood out to me was Original Sin. Now, with that being said, I mean, your style of rap, it brings me back to like the late 90s, early 2000s. It reminds me of like that more grungy.
The grungy
You know,
Cypress Hill type
yup.
original
Exactly.
shit. I like it, Charlie. Now I'm just gonna tell you, bud. I like the beat.
I loved it,
I like the beat.
the Original Sin, I heard your story, it's like I got to know you in that song. I got to know some of a lot of the things that I never knew about you, and we talked and all that all these years, and there's things I never even knew. So I mean, you've had a rough time, growing up here in Rochester. So with that being said, I mean, how was it growing up for you?
It was interesting, it wasn't your everyday life, definitely. It was, the city, it's just,
Yeah,
it's really interesting. That's the best way I could put it. I wouldn't change anything that happened, really.
right, because it made you who you are, man. I mean,
Exactly.
without all, I'm not saying it's a good thing that it happened, but at the same time, you got to make the best out of what happened,
Exactly. You do. You really do.
So, I mean, I know it's rough. I mean, Rochester in itself isn't easy to grow up in, and just the area itself. I mean, we have all kinds of things. We have Genesee Light, we have the Garbage Plate, we have all that stuff.
Oh, the garbage.
Kodak.
plates.
Right, we have Kodak, but we also have one of the highest murder rates
In the state.
in the state.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
We are the murder
Unfortunately.
capital.
So, I mean, they're with the good comes the bad, and vice versa.
Exactly.
But you got to make the best of it, So, I mean,
Exactly.
and I know in the song that you say that you've had to stay at the Hotel Cadillac and all that. Now that shut down about a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Funny thing though, I heard it was going to be opening back up fairly soon.
Oh boy.
Oh man, that's awful.
Yeah, man. No, how was? I mean, I don't know, man. I've been on the outside of Hotel Cadillac. I've looked in, and all that, but I've never stayed a night there. I mean, how was it?
Dude, the hall smelled like piss, man.
Does it?
It was awful, dude. There was rats in that place.
Oh man.
Oh man.
It was the worst, man, I'm telling you, it was
It
the opposite of a
it
Cadillac.
sounds like hell,
The
man.
furthest thing.
I know,
That
man.
does not sound good.
I mean, honestly, I've heard people were found dead there and all that stuff, so it doesn't sound like a pleasant
I believe
place.
it. I could just totally see that, dude. It smelled like a murder scene.
Yeah, man. I mean,
Ooh,
it seems
nah,
like
that's not good.
seems like it's a rough place to
That's not
you
good.
know.
Uh.
So, yeah, I mean, so what ended up? How'd you end up there? I mean, just
Oh, we couldn't pay for our rent and stuff, so my mom threw the assistance, and they put us up there for free, so we stayed there
yeah,
with through public assistance and stuff.
okay. And you guys were there for a short amount of time?
A couple times we were there.
Okay.
Each time for a good amount of time, yeah, at least a month or two each time.
All right. Yeah, I know. Like I said, it's rough there, and I just so when you got out of that situation, it probably was like a nice breath of fresh air. You're out of that place, you know.
Breathing.
Oh
you
yeah,
got your
man,
own place.
definitely.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, on the song you talk about your father. He moved down south eventually, right?
Yeah, he lives in Florida now.
Okay. You haven't had any contact with him since?
No, not really. We talked on the phone once, probably 3 years ago, maybe.
Okay.
It's been a while.
Now, I mean, how long was it before you talked on the phone with him? Quite some time, right?
Oh man, he came up here one time when I was in like 8th grade on a business trip, I think.
Okay.
But that wasn't like 8th grade.
Right. I know.
That
I
was
mean,
like the last time I actually saw him like in person.
yeah.
Like 14 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, that must have been quite an experience, though. I mean, all those years go by, and then you just see him, and you're like, man, where have you
Don't
been?
know what to say.
Exactly.
What do you say? What do you do? Like, you
I
miss so
mean,
much.
it's definitely an awkward situation.
Yeah, man. I can
But
imagine.
It's not like I don't want to talk to him. It's like you're not putting any effort in to talk to me.
Right. And that's the thing. Relationships and friendships and all that go both
It's a
ways.
give and take.
Right.
You gotta keep in touch with each other. You can't just have one person doing all the work, and it's not healthy that way. So you gotta do what's best for you in that situation.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can only do so much. So I mean, you haven't talked to him since 3 years ago, then.
Yeah, I haven't.
Okay. Yeah, I know it's rough, man. It's a rough situation. I understand, like to the point,
Yeah.
to a point. So with that being said, I mean, you had the rough upbringing and all that, and you had the rocky relationship with your father. What got you into rap, though? Like, what made you inspired to
Yeah, I
do?
want to know that too. What inspired you to do what you do today?
I liked rapping. I just liked how it sounded, and I just liked making. It's cool to make words rhyme and stuff, and make people like say like, "Oh, yo, that's a cool line," or like, "How do you think of that?" or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you arrive from point A to point B in a song? That's what I like.
Yeah. It's the journey, not the end point, right?
Exactly, and I just like when people listen to one of my songs, and if they can go like, "Oh, that line hit me. I know exactly what he's talking about," or
Yeah,
if
man.
they can be like, "Yo, how do you think of that? That was crazy."
See, that's what I love about your music. You're not just repeating 3 lines over and over
Yeah, no,
and
whatever.
over again. It's actually got some weight to it. It's not just the same old repetitive nonsense that
Yeah,
these
it
mumble. I mean,
comes-
nothing against all the mumble rap things. I mean, some of them can have good beats and all that. It's not my thing. I like the old school, like your sound sounds like the old school rap, which I love about
Yeah,
it.
that's
So-
what I'm trying to do, man.
Yeah, no, I like that, man. It's pretty good. And I know you've been on
Also,
hiatus.
The lyrics have meaning. The
Yeah.
lyrics have some backing to them.
Right.
They're not just those they're not words being tossed at you. They actually got some oomph when they hit you. You
Yeah.
know?
Right.
It just kind of pulls at everybody's, mental. I don't know, even at your heartstrings a little bit, man.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I know you've been on hiatus lately, man. When's the next time we're gonna hear another track or even see Charlie Manson up on stage?
Oh, you're definitely gonna hear some more tracks soon. I'm gonna get back into the studio soon. I've just I'm busy trying to work a job, and I'm moving now soon. But soon I'm getting back in the studio.
Nice, man.
I'm starting to write again and everything.
I know you got.
I miss it. I miss it. I do.
I know, man. You know, it's like I've taken a long break, and I know you probably you followed my web series when I used to have that going on, and we were gonna do that. And then all of a sudden the scheduling kind of got thrown off, and I just kind of wrapped it up. I said, look, you know, we couldn't do it. Just don't do what I did and wait all these years, man. Just do it, man.
No.
You gotta do it. That's why I started the show up.
That was the shit too, man. I loved it.
Yeah. Nah, man, you got some good tracks, man. You got some good beats. You got some good lyrics. I like the sound. Keep it up, man. I'm serious. Like, this is some good stuff. And I'm hoping we can see you live sometime here, man. We'll do whatever we can to.
Oh yeah, man, definitely. I'll let you guys know if I have anything coming up for sure.
All right, man.
Charlie,
I'm
Charlie,
trying to get booked. I love to perform. I love it.
Yeah, man.
Definitely good.
All right,
We
hey.
definitely, Charlie, next
good to hear from
concert you
ya.
have, let us know so we can be there.
Oh, definitely, I will. I got you guys.
Give us a shout out.
Yeah, man.
I got you.
Hey, thanks again for talking with us, man.
Yeah,
we
thanks for
appreciate
coming
it.
on
we
the show,
appreciate
man.
you calling.
No problem, man. Hey, take it easy, and we'll catch you next time, my man.
All right, cool, man. Thank you. You guys have a good
talking
night.
with
You
you.
too,
All right, have
man.
a good
Thank
night.
you.
All right, peace out.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Peace.